everyone, welcome back to another Age of Empires 4 commentary. I am Beyond, and as always, thank you so much for all the support in the past couple videos and the channel as a whole. I truly appreciate it. Let's get right into this game. Today we have Valdemar 1902 playing in the purple as the Chinese. He needs no introduction. I've done actually a co-cast with him on this channel. He's been on here a ton of times. I will leave his YouTube link in the description below, and also his Twitch. Would highly recommend his guides. They've gotten me up to Platinum 2 already. I wonder how high I can go from here. Across the way, we have Tokyo Hot as the yellow playing as the Malians. Now, this matchup is pretty volatile. The Chinese players are going to want to, do the classic turtle a little bit. And the Malians, they really like to, without a lot of pressure, which a lot of pros right now are definitely playing the Malians a ton. I just casted a tournament between the one-shot tournament on my Twitch, the whole thing. Spoiler alert, if you don't want to know this, just essentially skip over this part, but B ended up coming out on top of that tournament. You can watch the whole thing on my my Twitch stream. But besides that, I will say I saw a lot of Malian matchups, especially into Chinese, and a big thing across all the Malian matchups, no matter who they were playing, if you're able to pressure this pit mine over here, this first one, take down some of these houses, X, Y, and Z, you're able to put a lot of undue pressure onto the Malian player. Sometimes they can recover, and sometimes it's very difficult for them to recover, whether they're trying the cow boom, whether they're trying it all in terms of feudal age, whether they're trying to do all in terms of castle age. So it essentially any build, whether it be the classic sofa archer, whether it be the just essentially get so much resources that you just can spam units from across the map, whatever it is, if you can start this first initial snowball over here, you can be in a good spot. Now, I don't think Tokyo Hot has any socials, so I don't. If they do, let me know in the description below, and I will link them, of course. In this matchup, in Conquer and above, we have China sitting at about a 53% win rate across about 212 games. And then more across every single rank, we have China sitting at about a 47.7% win rate across 3,100 games. Now, what does this tell us? Not too much. It means it's a pretty even-ish matchup. I think the reason that China is shading in the terms of the slight favorite is that China, if they are able to just defend, they are able to kind of usually take over the late game. Their late game is one of the best in the game, as always. So if the Chinese player can successfully kind of huddle together and just kind of turtle up, you should be in a good spot. Now, we did see Valdemar just cancel this over here and decide to place it over here. An important thing to know about the Imperial Academy, which I think a lot of new players don't realize, and even some high tier pros don't realize, but Valdemar definitely does. He's been learning the ways of playing China. He's very good at them. This Imperial Palace has a bonus for tax generation across any tax generating building. So that is why he decided to place it over here. It's going to be in range of a wood line that I'm sure he's going to place over here. It's in range of this for sure as well to get those taxes in that early mill. He is missing out over here, but there's not really a good place to put it over here. If you put it here, this would eventually run out, and so would this. But over here, he can put it, there's so much trees back here, so whatever he decides to put, he can tax for absolute days. So I really like this positioning over here in the Imperial Academy, and of course, you can also put his granary transition back here as well, that's in range. So, very smart play, and it's a small little thing that the pros are just really good at. And also, it doesn't look like his Imperial officials are going to be going over here anyways, so this early value is going to be on here and here for sure. And honestly, you need a lot more wood and food. So these two, once he gets another Imperial official out over here, it's going to be very good for how much gold he's going to be getting. Now, barbecue placements, we can place one over here if you want some stone. We can even place one probably over here to protect this berries, and this probably is gold. That's probably the gold. It's probably going to be the most protection. So it's either going to be here or here. That's probably the best spot to put that. It looks like, oh, there it is. I mean easy money layups over here. I mean, to be fair, there's only like 2 spots you can put a barbecue in, but still, you never know. I mean, we do have the classic kind of like turtle style from the Chinese going. No, not too many shenanigans going on. Just going to let him have this pit mine over here. We see the classic Malian starting point for anyone that's not aggressive. We see the warrior scouts. Now, what those do is they can bring deer back home. And China does struggle a little bit with food. So they do only have this berry bush over here, another berry bush over here, and these deer over here, the boar over here, and then the deer over yonder. So I will say on this map, it's going to be probably a quicker farm transition than Valdemar would probably like to do. He could get this boar, which will be kind of nice, but I'm assuming that these warrior scouts are going to take out these deer first, and then follow up with this deer over here, and make short work of them. There they go. They're probably going to try to do a little bit of harass in the beginning, and then they'll move on to just stealing all the deer as humanly possible. This is susceptible to a little bit of a run by. As you can see, this barbican right here is just on the edge. So this scout will be super, super annoying. There's the IO getting those bonus taxes, both playing very, very well. And there we go. It's going to be attacking the IO, which is not what you want to see at all. Hopefully we get a little bit of movement. Do we have a surround? We have a surround! Valdemar, and they can poke from afar, getting a KO on an early scout. The absolute footwork and micro on Valdemar, saving the pride and joy of the community, the tax man. You know, I mean, I'm not going to say anything in regards to what that kind of looks like, but I'm just throwing it out there that you saved the tax person. It's a bold move, Cotton. Anyways, we have a pit mine going down up front. Now this is a larger pit mine, so you normally will get even more value, but unfortunately it is spawned right next to this rock wall. So while it does get probably a similar value to this over here, so let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and a mine. So technically speaking, I mean, can get a little extra one because you can get that mine out there as well. And there they go. They're trying to steal those deer early and often. Where'd that one come from? Where'd that deer come from? I don't even... Maybe the deer hopped over there, but regardless, a deer is down over yonder. We do see that the Imperial officials are going to be working to get as many taxes as possible when producing this extra town center. So a 2 TC song is going to be coming out for Valdemar, sitting in a very comfortable position, and it's starting to move out with these spearmen. These spearmen are going to see that they have a very easy target right out front here, which is kind of nice. But that being said, Tokyo Hot has 4 archers coming out on the way, so this harass will be short-lived for Valdemar, and it's going to be kind of shut out quite quickly the second these bad boys pop out. Here they are. Also, I just love the Malian archers. Look at how they're just fully kitted out. They got the armbands rocking and everything, and this one archer is going to symbol Valdemar to follow these back. There they go, and they get the Nikes on, and they run back home. Nice and simple. With that being said, with the shenanigans going down, Valdemar is able to secure these extra berries over here and get a TC right next to this boar. So an absolute win for him, and one more deer remaining over here. So it looks like that deer that landed over here is going to be, it was one of these guys over here. But this is great for Valdemar. Securing this 2 extra food sources is super, super important, and he really, really needed to do it. A nice little surround on the boar over here. Quickly pulling out. Oh, pulled out the wrong one. There we go. They're back in the game, and no one goes down from that boar. A perfect by Valdemar, and now also has an extra 6 villager lead. So Zong Dynasty is just absolutely cooking. 15 seconds. We have some harass. Are these the archers? How are the archers get? I mean, I was talking over here a little bit about a perfect boar surround. How on earth did archers sneak on over here? Did get 1 kill of a villager, it looks like, but traded out for 2 of their own, which may or may not be worth it. We do see an early wall coming in for Tokyo Hot to defend this forward pit mine. Really, really has to see to make sure this can happen, but you never know. I mean, that's why I say you never know, because here comes the blobs at the picture perfect timing. How many times has this been you? You've been building a wall, you're proactive, you're like, oh my god, everyone's going to be so proud of me. I can't believe I actually timed this up well. And voila, an entire army comes out and shuts down your possibility at making a very good play. We've all been there, Tokyo Hot. don't you worry. That being said, he has a pretty sizable army, so he's going to be able to push these back and get this wall down regardless. Another wall is going down all the way over here, and if he can put this one up over here, he's going to be feeling very, very comfortable. Valdemar getting all those eco upgrades. It looks like Tokyo Hot already has those in tow, but as you can see, Song Dynasty is really starting to kick off. We have a few stables over here, which you can tax as well, so there you go. I think the village is one of the only ones you can't tax in some capacity, I believe. I'm not 100% sure if you can actually tax these buildings. I'm not. Yes, you can. There you go. There you go. So you can tax those buildings. So if you do also build all these buildings around here as well, you get even more value. Another wall being thwarted by these, Valdemar is finding even more value over here. And because he's not on two Song Dynasty, those 3 villagers are going to really, really hurt. Valdemar will be able to get 3. There we go. One more poke. Boom. So that is 3 villagers down. Valdemar is sitting at a 20 villager lead and is now just going to start to suffocate his opponents. Unfortunately for our friend, the horseman over there did take the wrong pathing and ran into a line of sofas, which is never going to be good. Now, we can see that we only have 3 on gold, almost enough to go up, but does not have the food for it nearly enough. Let's see if we're going to go in the pastures. We are going pastures. I don't know if we're going to be going the cow boom, though, just because of the positioning of this over here. It doesn't fully look like it, but maybe you could sneak it in here, but it's a little bit uncomfortable with this and this kind of in the way, but we'll have to wait and see. This Malian army is moving out across the map, trying to find some weak spot over here. And we already have a granary transition going on. As I mentioned before, you probably have to start transitioning pretty early because there's not much food out on the map. So Valdemar taking advantage of how much wood is available and turning it into food, which is sometimes what you just have to do. You know what I mean? If you see that you have a ton of one resource, just make and you have a way to turn that into the other resources. That could always be a good spot. Engage over here. It looks like Valdemar is nice, able to get the sofas onto the spearmen onto those sofas, and now we're trying to get us around. I will say the archers are finding a nice spot behind these sofas as a front line, trying to do as much damage as humanly possible. That is a lot of Shuganu and a lot of horsemen as well. So no spearmen in this bunch, no Donzos really. There's only 4 on the map. I don't think they were involved in this battle. And that army gets absolutely cleaned. No villagers get taken down, nothing. So this is sitting in a really, really rough spot. And a farm transition fully is going down right now as we speak, which is not what you want to be seeing from someone playing the Chinese. We have almost a 30 villager lead at this point, so 2TC Song is fully in ramping up. The Malian player really had to get a little bit more damage or get to Castle Age before he allowed this to happen. Down by 30 this quickly. I know you have passive income over here with these cow ranches and stuff like that, but not nearly enough to outdo something of this nature. And Valdemar is actually almost also into Castle Age as well. So even the advantage that you normally have is not going to be working out too well. I wonder what's going down. Is it, do we have a little bit of idle time, or I know this is a lot to be down by. So I'm just trying to wonder if maybe the case is there's a little bit of downtime going down. There is a little bit of idle time going down, which is super, super unfortunate. There we go, back up. But if that happens multiple times, that can start to really add up, and especially into 2TC Song, especially losing those 3 villagers across the map. We do have a sweeping raid going in. Nothing changed in the kill count as well, but still, we will keep an eye out for it. We do have enough for Castle Age for both players. The Grand Corral is going down. Only 4 pastures are down at this point, so not really sitting in an ideal spot for this in this position, but is throwing down some stables and some barracks to try to get up a good military. I will say, I decided if you've made it this far and you are enjoying, please do like and subscribe. I thoroughly appreciate it. I will say the new patch just dropped, which had a few kind of cosmetic updates, a few little tweaks here and there. Made it so that there was couldn't really choose any other games, because once you patch, that you have to get it patched on there. And this is the only time I had to record. So I was hoping this game would be a good one. I looked through so many different ones. It's decent, but Valdemar is really showing the power of 2TC Song right now, and this is absolutely crazy. Left untouched Look at how good and strong this can be. Almost 40 villagers lead right now, and this is exactly what you want your TCs to be looking like if you're new to the game. Look at how many are lined up and queued out, ready to go out and move out on the map. This is exactly what you want to see. And he already has a monastery as well, so we're going to be getting those relics. And I will say, the relics are very unfortunate for Tokyo Hot. We got 1, 2, 3 right across the map. Easy pickings for Valdemar. Now, that scout is going to be going down quite quickly. We have a Donzo transition over here. 7 sofas out in the map as well. But this force is very scary into this force over here. Those Shugenus alone are going to be brutal. We have crossbowmen coming out to deal with these sofas. But I mean, sofas are one of those weird things where they are heavy, so they're gonna be countered by spearmen and crossbowmen, but they're just so tanky, it's crazy. But they don't have the extra shield just yet, so this engage in this choke point is not going to be too great. I'm not loving this if we are on the side of Tokyo Hot. Tokyo, what are we doing? What are we doing? That you don't want that smoke at all. Get out of there. What? It was ambitious to say the least, and it was, I mean, look at all these spearmen absolutely running at you. Get out of there. Run away at all costs. There we go. A few Donzos to sacrifice. I love that. Sacrifice the few for the greatness of the many. And I mean, imagine if you were these Donzos, though, just getting poked in the backside as you're sprinting away for your life. And the sofas, they do decide to turn around, but they're going in on spearmen, which is not exactly what you want to do. Sofas are finally curling around onto these Shugnu, which is exactly what you want. But nice micro here by Valdemar to follow these back. And now going fully back, and now the Shugnu are able to free hit. There is a few sofas back here. They're starting to cause some mayhem, but the spears that are reinforcing are coming in the backhand side and doing a lot of damage. Now, Shugnu, they seem a little bit, they don't seem not broken, right? Like, I mean, but is the real issue 2TC song, right? Is that the real kind of conundrum that we have going here? Because I mean, to be fair to Tokyo Hot, he tried to invade multiple times. It was an unfortunate timing across some times, and he is sitting in a decent spot, decent resources, has fully walled off. He is half in both categories, which is not good, but I mean, he's not going to really keep up. He did idle for a few seconds, but for all of you newer players, make sure you get that TC always cooking. That is number one. But Nest of Bees now coming out as well, going to make quick work of these Donzos. And now Valdemar is just going to move in with his superior force and probably decimate. These Musafati warriors are definitely super, super strong into all of this. So we'll have to wait and see if they can get involved. But we have 39 spearmen, 8 more on the way, more crossbowmen, and we also have a Nest of Bees. And Nest of Bees, when the Chinese player gets this much on the field, it's going to be a real rough one. But these, I mean, I think the early Horseman was really what changed the tide for Valdemar. He did not allow any sort of early shenanigans going down, and that is a whole lot of villagers. Is this Nest of Bees going to shoot from the high ground? It is. Look at him. Look at him. Look at him. Oh my God. Raining death from below. Look at this. There's a whole other battle going on over here, but I couldn't not. The high ground is his. We do have a bunch of archers as well, which is really nice. Only 8 of them on the map, though. You needed a bit more, but the Malian army is holding strong. These sofas are nothing to be peculiar about. And also, look at all these archers just absolutely rinsing these spearmen, and they are trading super effectively. But as you can see on the backhand side, just more and more coming this way. And they're trying to reproduce. A few more did go down from that Nest of Bees shot over there. And now the spearmen are just starting to dive in on everything. While this isn't super great in terms of, like, they might not actually win this engage over here, which actually they actually might just because of the sheer amount of them. But Valdemar knows that he has a superior economy right now, and this is exactly what happens, and this is why I said I gave the edge to China. If you don't have a strong game plan, get them off of food, get them get them really hurting early on, that 2TC song is going to start to kick off, and there's only a few civilizations in the game that can really put a stop to it. Now we're just murdering cows, which is never a good thing. Never what you want to see. Nest of bees just hanging out chilling, which is also never what you want to see. If a nest of bees are just allowed to sit, and there is the GG's. I mean, well played, but if you don't impact 2TC song and you try to just out macro it, it's going to be a really, really rough time. And to be fair, Tokyo Hot did, but those early horsemen caused so much damage. GG's, that's exactly how you want to play this matchup as Valdemar. And that's into another Conquer level player, so absolutely big shout out to Valdemar. And if you did enjoy, please do like and subscribe. It would mean a ton to me. I'm trying to get to 1,000. We are so close. We're at 818, which is absolutely incredible. Thank you guys so much. Have a great night.